What up? What up? Welcome to another week of Behind the Boot podcast, a Louisiana sports podcast where you can get everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU, whether that's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, rugby, whatever it is, we got you if it's Louisiana sports. Uh, we here for a special edition of the episode. I'm kind of glad things unfolded the way it did. That way we can talk about it while it's still fresh, man. Um, Big news in the New Orleans sports world, in particular, the Pelicans have officially let go of Stan Van Gundy. And now, with that being said, how y'all fellas doing? I'll start with you, Jared.
Ron, you got your wish.
Yes,
but
sir. Yes, indeed.
it's good to be alive. Yet another week of Behind the Boot podcast. Feeling good.
Yes, sir. How you feeling, Dan?
I'm tired, Ryan. I've been out in the heat, but good.
I feel it. I feel it. Well, if anybody wondering how I was doing, I'm doing outstanding. There was some news that came down the pipeline today. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've definitely heard it. Um, Stan Van Gundy has been relieved of his duties, and I have been relieved of all the stress as a Pelicans fan. Going in the next year, now I can feel a little more confident that shit they can put damn near anybody in there, and I feel like things will be better. You know what I
They
mean?
they can them, y'all. They can them like a Diet Coke.
They can them like some tuna, man. Gave him his pink slip,
Like,
and I
pass
like
them
it.
up.
I
Can
like it,
of
man.
like a can of Van Camps, pork and beans.
Now,
59 ounces.
Can
I
of Vienna
guess,
sausages, bro.
I guess that lead to the next possibilities. Now with the coaching change, I guess we'll start with a light analysis of what could happen next year. Do you see the team being hurt or improving from this? Because a lot of people, especially like Griffin, I don't know if y'all heard David Griffin press conference, but he brought up um basically he was saying a bunch of professional jargon to try to you know save the reputation of the team and save the reputation of Stan. But basically, what he was getting at is that they mutually parted ways due to a difference in you know
Philosophy.
philosophy and focus on the mission. Now he did say that there was a lot of Stan came in obviously in the COVID season, shortened year. Um, there was challenges that a new coach, a first year coach in any other year wouldn't have had to deal with. There wasn't much opportunity to practice over the course of the season. So there's a lot of people, especially in Pels Twitter. Well, let me not say a lot of people because not the majority, but I did see some people say that, it might actually hurt the team that they couldn't roll that continuity that they built this year into a full real season next year. So I guess that's my long setup to ask y'all, do y'all think firing Stan was the right decision? Putting our feelings about Stan aside, do y'all think that was the best move for the organization?
I mean, me personally, I thought he was gonna bring him back at least for one more year. But pressure's on, man. Griff have to get this right for Zion. If he wants to keep Z, he has to get it right. And I feel like probably Miss B or Trajan or whoever like Swing Cash and them was like, hey, do y'all really think we should bring back Stan? And they just probably all had to sit down and talked with the players. And once the players told them probably need to can them, then they probably went that route. So I say it was a safe choice. It was good for both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's just me.
I agree. What you think, Dan?
Honestly, to keep it a buck 50, think was a very shameful day for this franchise. Very shameful. Um, one of the reasons why I think it was very shameful. Just to bring it up, I just think that they didn't take their time and find the right candidate last year. They rushed and they panicked. And I'm sorry, I just don't think that Stan Van Gundy interviewed so well that you had to make him the coach. I'm just saying, like, what did he bring to the table to where you think, yeah, he's gonna take this team to the next level? Defensively, I mean, this is not defensive. I hate to say it, but it's not defensive league in the NBA during the regular season. The defense picks up once you make it to the postseason. You just gotta semi stop somebody during the regular season, but the defense pick up as you can see in the postseason because people are playing hard and they're playing for more. So I just didn't like the hire to begin with. I have nothing against Stan. I think he did a great job with the COVID thing, and I think we had a chance to probably make a run if we wouldn't have got a couple of injuries. So it really wasn't his fault. I mean, he does share the blame. I really don't think that all the blame is on Stan Van Gundy, but I think it's just very shameful on Griff that he just did not take his time and hire the right candidate. I just don't think that. Um, I didn't want to make it about race and like that, but in this day and age, you need somebody that can relate to the players. Stan Van Gundy is out of touch with this NBA. To me, you need somebody that can relate and get to these players and push the right buttons. I mean, they put it this way. I think in this NBA, these players respect more former players than they do old ass white coaches. Let's just be honest. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you'll get more out of them if you get, say, a Chauncey Billups. Shit, even Steve Nash pushing the right buttons. He never had no coaching experience. I mean, he with Brooklyn, but he doing a good job. He been without two of his stars at least for half the year. I
Yeah.
mean, off and on. So I just feel like you got to make the right choice. You got to have somebody that has coaching experience, that's gritty, that's tough, ain't gonna let them push over, and has credentials. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
Well,
look, Diane, I did this before. You know, this is what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you need somebody like that.
I think the thought, because I really like, now that he was gone, I kind of went back and looked at what potentially could have led to the hire in the first place. And I think looking at a lot of what Stan brought to the table was actually maybe not the right call, because obviously in hindsight it's not, but Stan was one going, our problem the year prior was we weren't tough on defense. We weren't, had no identity on the defensive side of the ball at all. And he has a well-known track record for winning defenses, high level playoff contending defense. And Griff mentioned, a bunch of times before that he was looking for a coach that would buy into the point Zion concept, which honestly showed, he kind of changing the game. I feel like if they continue down the point Zion path, that could potentially change the league in a direction as much as a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, like how they have changed basketball. Like when you look at LeBron, there wasn't really any big players running the court. You needed one of those typical, prototypical point guards to run your offense. LeBron James changed that. Now we see Ben Simmons and these players like that running offenses. Steph Curry, he changed the league to be this 3-point league that we in now with his high level shooting. I think Zion is gonna change, you know, he's definitely changing the big man position. And I think that they went in the right direction as far as finding somebody who bought into that philosophy, which was, a good call. But as a whole, I think Griff just failed them. You know what I mean? As far as like putting the right pieces around them, giving them the right opportunity for success. I look at the roster and I don't think that anybody else really could have, we might have been able to get into the play in or something like that with, because there was more than a few games where I feel like was Stan fault. But I was surprised at the news that he was fired. Like that was a surprise. I didn't think. I thought they would give him at least an opportunity to have one real season. With a real off season, a real opportunity to practice in between games and things of that nature. So,
Well, the clock is ticking, Ron. That's the thing. They know the
but
clock is ticking right now, and they have to get somebody that's going to. He said they got to get somebody to make the players happy. They have to get them
well,
in right
the,
now.
the thing the thing is that I really feel like the clock it's already ticked. You know what I mean? And now they just because in relation to because we all know what we talking about. You got to fix it before Zion leaves. You got to fix it before you have a repeat of Chris Paul. You got to fix it before you have a repeat of Anthony Davis. You've already wasted 2 seasons of Zion's career with two bad coaches. He's 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 gonna have his third coach in 3 seasons. You know what I mean? That's not a good look for the franchise. That's not a good look for Zion in relation to his career. If he's one of those players that's interested in building a legacy, being a part of something that's great, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously they're gonna pay him whatever he want. But if he's interested in winning and leaving a legacy and being a champion, you got to show him something better than that. Like the front office has been in shambles. You had the JJ Redick drama and all this other stuff. You got players like Josh Hart, which we'll get to in a second, talking about he want a fresh start. He don't want to be in New Orleans. Like there's something wrong with the front office. There's something wrong with the decision making, and these coaching changes is not pausing the clock for Zion. Like he's sitting there and watching that. He has agents that are sitting there and watching that. Like they have to get it right. I think even as much as I hate Stan, and I love Stan as a human being. Like he's actually a solid dude. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
as a coach, y'all know I'm I had more than my fair share of complaints about Stan over the course of the season, but I really was curious on what could have been if you gave him another full season.
Facts. I agree.
But
I agree. But I don't know, Ron. You could have tell the players just didn't want to play with him. They didn't want to play for him no more.
yeah,
Saying
well,
Bi was out of it. He just that guy just went unnoticeable for games at a time. It looked like the only person that really wanted to play was Z and Naw and Jackson Hayes and like the young guys. Other than that, Eric Bledsoe, shit.
yeah, well,
Bi, you know,
those
whatever.
those those younger guys they don't really count to me because when they got on the
Nah,
floor
yeah,
they wasn't
yeah,
playing for stand. They was playing for minutes. They was playing for
yeah,
opportunity. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's a little different. But you need to have like your star players buying in. And I know
yeah.
just over the course of like following some of the Pels insiders over the year, um, apparently after the season ended, there was more than a few incidents where Bi had his odds with Stan, and I seen Nikhil Alexander Walker. He made an Instagram post. He said it was, and I quote, "It was one hell of a roller coaster ride, but I appreciate you." So apparently, that roller coaster ride was something. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think that speaks a little bit to the roster too. Like I don't think those guys like to be coached hard, which was the reason they brought Stan in. So I don't blame him for that. Like I almost feel like it's unfair to fire him because there was friction between him and the players when
Yeah.
you brought him in specifically for his old school mentality and coaching people
But
hard.
but
Like
I didn't think that was needed though. I didn't think they needed somebody that needed to get in their face. You know what I'm saying? I just think that was the wrong choice. You needed somebody who was not as soft as Alvin. You know what I'm saying? Alvin was a decent coach offensively. He had good offensive game plans, but he just refused to buckle down on defense like that. And he didn't make no in game adjustments defensively. That was Alvin's downfall. I just really didn't think they needed to be coached like they didn't need an in your face guy like that, like Stan Van Gundy. Because let's be honest, you got this little fucking 5'11", goddamn little short Mario looking white guy fucking barking at you, being all condescending and fucking sarcastic and shit, all practice and shit. And you get to the game, he doing the same shit, like yelling, like that shit get old. You know what I'm saying? Then you go from that to Alvin, who Alvin is like a mellow guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll raise his voice over here and there. You know what I'm saying? Alvin like a good father figure. You know what I'm saying? They respected Alvin. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
much as you say people didn't like Alvin, you know what I'm saying, or what it was, you can say anything about in-game adjustments, but they respected Alvin. You didn't see none of those players talking to Alvin like that or having an attitude toward Alvin because he got that posture. You know what I'm saying? Like he got that good, solid. It's just different. Like he respects them as men, and he respects the same, return. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't
Yeah, but
just get in their
but
face.
I think that was the exact reason that they let him go because it's a difference between being liked and respected. You know what I mean? And I think the players liked Alvin. That was proven when we played Sacramento, and you see the players that played for him really embrace him. He's kept a relationship with Bi even after he moved on. You know what I mean? So we know that he's a likable guy. He's been around the league forever, so he's obviously a talented coach. I believe he's like what 30 years in. Like he's obviously talented enough to keep a job. The problem is you need somebody that when you really in the trenches and shit is like, hey man, cut all that like you friendly shit. I need you to do this. I need you to go out and do this, or there is consequences to that.
Yeah,
There
I'm not
wasn't
saying
any of
Alvin
that
was.
in the culture.
Yeah, I'm not saying Alvin was firing Alvin was the wrong move. I think it might have been the right move at the time, but I just don't think SVG was the right move because I just don't see how that helped the situation. You know what I'm saying?
And
You
I
needed
mean,
a
yeah,
middle ground person. You needed somebody right in the middle, not too fucking in your face and not too mellow.
see,
You needed to find that kind of fine line. You know what I'm saying? You
but
gotta
does
find that middle ground.
does that exist? Because I feel like it's either one in or the other. Like there is no middle ground when it comes to that. It's kind of like with children. Like if as a parent, if you decide that you want to be Mr. Cool parent and you let your kids do certain shit, you let them get away with something one time, and now they think they could run all over you. They
No,
like
but
you. They having fun, but you gotta be the asshole. If
you
you
see
want order in the
that.
house, you gotta be the asshole. You gotta let them know this is the way that it's gonna be, or there's trouble. You know what I mean?
But that does exist though, cause like you take somebody as perfect example. I mean, I ain't gonna say Pop, cause Pop a Hall of Fame coach. You already know what Pop represents. But
Yeah.
somebody like Ty Lue. Ty Lue was basically appointed by LeBron to be a head coach, and you see what he doing right now. Like he literally told Kawhi and them shut the fuck up and do what I tell you to do. And he sat down. Rondo sit here and like Rondo was like calling trouble. And he told Rondo to sit the fuck down on the bench. Like he sat him down, a veteran, like playoff Rondo. Like he told him to sit his fucking ass down on the bench. Like that's what you need. But Ty's not like a in your face kind of guy. He doesn't
Yeah.
like get too demonstrative, or like he doesn't like beat all. Like he doesn't attack his players like verbally. Like you never see that at a time. But like he'll say, "Hey man, go ahead and sit down." Like he does that shit. You can tell how and he gets on them. Like what I'm saying. They respect Ty, and Ty wasn't really like wasn't an all star, but he was an accomplished player. You know what I'm saying? He was an NBA champion. So like he had that respect, but somebody like that middle ground, Chauncey Billups. I think Chauncey Billups would have been a perfect fit. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
I don't know, man. Like I hear what you're
Chauncey
saying.
would have been a perfect like Chauncey. I mean, I like Chauncey. I mean, you didn't have to hire him now, but Chauncey Billups going ham. I mean, fuck. Even old boy from the New York Nets. I mean, for the Nets they got fired. Kenny Atkinson, perfect coach. He had
I don't know
those
why they
Nets
didn't hire
playing.
him.
He had those Nets playing hard before Kyrie and KD got there and brought them to the playoffs. Perfect team. He had
Yeah.
a young team, a young up and coming squad. He built Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert was a fucking dog. He helped develop Karis LeVert. Like
And Jared Allen.
they, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like he developed all those players.
Yeah. He was
Perfect
a good coach.
hire.
That's who I thought the Pels was gonna hire when they hired SVG.
And you
But
come out here and then you hire Stan Van Gundy, who ain't coached in 2018 at the Detroit Pistons let go. I mean,
yeah,
I just
yeah,
don't
but
know,
but
man.
they also let him go as a GM. He was a GM slash head coach, so they let him go because he sucked as a GM. So I was actually excited for the Stan hire. Like I really did. I like the old school coach. Like if I was a player, I feel like I would respect the passion that he bring to the game. Because it was
He
more than
did.
obvious every game. You could tell Stan was he was invested in the games. Like it wasn't like Alvin where he was just sitting with that blank face when we getting worked by 30. You know what I mean? Like we could be down, 25, 30 points and Stan is still pacing back and forth. He's trying to get in the game. You know what I mean? You could hear it in the post games. He'd be really upset about stuff. Like he cared. He brought a certain passion to the game. I just think with these younger guys, that type of shit really don't land when you don't have that connection with them first.
Yeah,
Which
yeah. Another
it's
thing is,
not
I
a
think he did. I think he did too much talking in the media and bashing the players. I didn't think that set well with the players. I think you could do that anymore,
I
bro.
agree.
You can't sit here, and I think that might have cost Mike Malone his job in Denver. They might have let Mike Malone because he was calling his players soft, and I'm like, bro, like they're not soft. You don't have your best. You don't have your point guard. Like Jamal Murray was the reason why you made it to the conference finals last year. You don't have another scorer besides Jokic, so you got some Compazzo playing. Like relax. Like you can't beat the fucking Clippers or the Jazz with that, man. You can't beat them. Like you have to dial it down. So I think that might have cost Mike Malone his job.
Yeah.
Honestly,
But I,
just
I
should have got. I
also
just think
do
he talked
think
too much to me.
I
I don't
also
think
do
so,
think
Dan.
as a coach, it's a coach's job to believe that he can win with whoever is on the floor. Like obviously those dudes that made the roster, even though we know as fans looking objectively, but you spend all this time, working in the gym, working in practice with these dudes, like you supposed to believe that you can win with whoever on the floor. That's what I want out of my coach. I wouldn't want a coach that would think otherwise. I don't care if Jamal Murray and Jokic go down. Go win the game. That's your job. You know what I mean?
Facts there, Ron Dunes. Facts there.
I'm sorry, Ron. That's cap.
I know.
That's cap. When you
It's
outwork,
not though. If you a
it's,
GM,
it's,
Dan, if
it's,
you a GM,
I'm
and
saying it's
and
not like football though, Ryan. Like this is not like the talent level in basketball. Once you start going in that rotation, it goes down tremendously, bro. Campazzo wasn't even drafted. Like that nigga was getting booked. Like I mean, you have to understand like, the talent level drop. Now if Will Barton was playing, Will Barton ain't played for you know three out of 5 games. You know what I'm saying? But he had nothing. Like he had nothing behind Jamal Murray. So like, and they traded, the dude they had, that the Morris dude they had. They traded him to I forgot who they traded with, my Orlando. So they didn't have the depth they had last year at point guard that they would have, but they traded for Aaron Gordon. So it
all
kind of
right,
fucked
so
up the
so
depth.
in response to that, Dan, let's say you at your job, right?
Yeah.
You the manager. They got 4 or 5 employees working under you. You know that some days you got your strong people, you got the people who come in, do their shit, you ain't gotta really be on their ass. And then other days you got the person, yeah, they a good worker, but sometimes they be bullshitting, might check their phone a little too much. If something go wrong, it don't matter who out on the floor. If something go wrong, it's on you as the manager. No matter who's working, you as the coach, you gotta win the game, no matter what. So I'm not saying that it's right to bash your players or talk negative about them, but I'm saying I respect the passion because that accountability, that's part of good team culture. And I think that that's something that Stan had. You know what I mean? Like he he had a level of accountability to where he held Winyon Gabriel to the same standards that he would hold Zion Williamson. And I think that's the type of culture that was needed. You know what I mean? Like I liked a lot of things about Stan. He just didn't like it's the in game decisions. Like his philosophy was amazing. Like I think Stan is actually a really good coach. It's just those in game decisions, running with Bled in those late game scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Not calling timeout when Lonzo Ball and JJ Redick falling over the ball and we lose the game. You know what I mean? Like those type of things is what made me not like Stan. but his
Questionable.
overall philosophy was good. You know what I mean? I'm real curious to see um who their potential candidates are, which will kind of lead me into the next thing I wanted to talk about. We talked about it before. Y'all called me crazy, but now there's some steam gaining. I'm starting a teaspoon for head coach campaign, man. I'm leading it myself. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe or something. We're gonna raise up some money, enough bread to where we can actually, reach Griff ourselves and say, hey, you don't hire a teaspoon, we ain't showing up to the games.
Oh, come on, dude.
Oh yeah. Teaspoon for
Ryan, you
head coach,
need.
man.
I think Teaspoon is one of those that she has a high ceiling but a low floor.
I don't think
Like
it's the right
you
time to
can't.
hire right now.
Yeah. I think right now you cannot risk. Yeah, everybody on the team like fucks with her. Like she has everybody respect and everything, but right now you have to get this right because this decision right here can impact your future in major ways. So
Right.
so Griff needs to take his time. Him, Trajan Langdon, Swin Cash, Mrs. B, need to all do their homework and take their time and figure out what coach fits better with this team.
All
Plain
right.
and simple.
So let's with that being said, let's dissect it. We got time. What makes any other candidate better than Teaspoon? We talking about a basketball lifer, been around basketball her entire life. She's decorated as a player herself. And the issues we just talked about with the respect and all that side of coaching, the coach and player dynamic, she's proven I've never seen a coach relate to players as much as they do Teaspoon. I've never seen it. You know what I mean? Like I legit watched this little video with her and telling her story about her and Kyra Lewis,
Hmm.
and I was like, it was pulling on the heartstrings, bro. I was like, this is some
Yeah.
crazy shit. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, what would make with her basketball resume and then also the respect that the players have for her, what would what would somebody like Chauncey Billups have over her? What would he bring to the table that she wouldn't be able to bring?
He's been an assistant for 4 years in the NBA.
But I'm saying
Teaspoon's
I, I'm
first
sa- I'm
year was
saying
like this
that's
year.
that's that's what the NBA tells you as far as like the corporate side of things on what would make you qualified to be a coach. But I'm saying in the game, like if going into the first round playoff series, what would that have to do with the job that would actually be done? Like if we actually looking at it, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I don't think that any coach really would be able to bring much that she wouldn't be able to bring outside of just the decorations. And I've networked with the right people and I've been an assistant on this team and I won an NBA championship with that team. Like outside of that, but I'm saying as far as like actually doing a job, what would any of these candidates have that Teaspoon wouldn't be able to bring? Cause she just as decorated as any of them other niggas. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not
Probably
saying that.
nothing, right?
I'm not
Probably
saying
nothing.
she'll be a bad hire because if you okay, let's say you hire let's see you hire her. What's your candidates? Jason Kidd, Teaspoon, and they talking about Fred Vinson might be a good candidate. He's the assistant coach.
Yeah.
Who else is the candidates? Uh, I don't know, but that's the main ones we saw today after Stan got fired. But like you said, they all basically the same. They all never been head coaches. They all been pretty much assistants, and they all pretty much decorated.
Doesn't kill the head coach.
This kid is shit. Hey,
Oh, come
Yeah,
on,
I
that
don't
bro.
want Jason Kidd.
Don't do that.
he didn't
Don't
do
do that,
nothing
bro.
in Milwaukee.
Doesn't give a good coach, bro.
He
Yeah,
didn't do nothing
he
for us.
turned he turned out into what he is today, cat.
All right.
Hold on, wait. That's what y'all do with the black man. The black man build a team up. Yeah, they did the exact same thing to Mark Jackson. Like, let's not do this. You
God.
know what I'm saying? That man
I'm not
built that
rolling.
team.
I'm
I'm
not.
not
I'm
Listen,
not.
rolling.
I'm not pushing it.
that man built that team, and then in comes the white man, and guess what? NBA championship or right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not do this, man. Because
Nah, man.
we know Mark Jackson been
I ain't rolling
blackballed.
with that.
Mark
Mark Jackson was
Jackson,
blackballed. Jason
Mark
Kidd, no,
Jackson,
he's not a great coach.
I don't think
Jason
Jason
Kidd brought that
Kidd.
team to the playoffs. They fired him because he wasn't getting along with the front office. Like what Jason Kidd did wrong to get fired from Milwaukee? What did he do?
I mean, that's part of the job, though. Being able to work well with the organization.
Oh, Ryan.
Hey,
It
I'm just
is. It
saying.
is.
And then his next Christian job, he gets to go to the goddamn the Knicks, a shitty organization. He couldn't do nothing with that, and he got fired. So I mean,
Well,
you
Tom
can't say
Thibodeau
he's
did
a bad
something with him.
coach.
Yeah, he sure did.
He ain't have that. He ain't have what he got over there. I mean, who'd have thought Julius Randle would have played the way he? But he ain't have Julius Randle. He had some trash. I mean, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
but that gotta be, you gotta credit some of that to coaching, because Julius Randle was trash. Julius Randle was somebody we just let walk. The sorry
But
ass Pelicans. Let
but
him walk.
but after all that, what I just said, I don't Jason Kidd's a good candidate. But we're not gonna sit here and bash Jason Kidd talking about he a bad coach.
But
When
we not
he
we
was a decent
all I'm
coach.
saying is, when I bash him, I ain't bashing him as a black coach. I'm bashing him because he's
Jared
trash.
bash.
Like,
No, he not. He a good coach.
I'm bashing him because he's trash. He
Damn.
hasn't done anything to prove that
Facts. What has
he's
he done?
nice.
What
He
has he
didn't have the
done?
chance to prove nothing. They fired him whenever the Bucks was getting good. Whenever
Whose
they
fault
started
is
getting
that?
really good.
Whose fault is that?
It's not his fault. He couldn't be. I mean, they didn't like him in the front office. It's not their fault.
And
All I'm
if
saying, all I'm saying is this: you need to be sure of this next hour, whether it's Jason Kidd, Teaspoon, Fred Vinson, fucking Dr. Seuss for all I care. They better be able to fucking coach. You need to be able to coach and relate to your players. If they can do both, then you have something. But you can't go either or. You just had Alvin. You fucked up with Alvin because he was too much of a players coach and couldn't get him to play defense and couldn't take him to the next level. You fired Alvin. You went the exact opposite of Alvin. You went straight to Stan, a disciplinary coach, in your face, demands accountability from everybody. Okay, that didn't work out after a year. So what you do now? Where you go to? You go back to the Alvin style coach, or like Dan said, you find the median. But is that even out there? Is there a coach that's even out there that's in between?
personally, I don't think there is a medium.
All right. So I mean,
I think there's a chance of Billis. I think Charles can be a good coach.
I don't think that's a
Kenny,
medium. I think he's gonna
I
be
think
Alvin
Kenny
Gentry.
Atkinson is going. I think Kenny Atkinson can be that though. They got a lot of good coaches we could do.
Honestly, I don't even think, as far as like the X's and O's side, like I don't think there really is a problem. Like, you can almost plug in anybody with a decent philosophy that match the roster, which we don't even know what the roster gonna look like, because I'm thinking they're gonna do like a complete, it's gonna be some gutting of the roster. But as long as you get somebody with a good philosophy, I think it'll be good. The problem is getting players to buy into whatever you selling. And I can guarantee you, Teaspoon will get them to buy into whatever she sell. No matter what, no matter how tough it is, no matter how annoying it is, they're gonna buy into what she's selling. And I think
yeah.
that alone should at least give her a legitimate shot at it. You know what I mean?
Well, she got her audition. I think Griffin gonna take his time. I think he gonna let her coach the summer league,
She gonna win the
and
summer
she
league
go
championship too.
and if she go out there and do what she got to do, then I'm sure Griff might make it a coach. I mean, I guess Griff got to see how she handles it. Handles it because you don't know until you know. You know what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
another thing is,
He just
I
don't have
hope,
the time to waste. That's the only thing on Griff. Griff ain't got no time. He ain't got
Well,
another year to waste. Like it has to get
that's the
right
problem, because a lot of these winning organizations, like I look at, like Milwaukee, for example, they've been good for the past few years, but each year, even the years that they got shit wrong, they've improved. Griff hasn't done that at all. Like, I know he ain't been around, he ain't been in the franchise for too long, but we starting again from ground zero. Year two of Zion, we have made zero progress from when we drafted him. We are in the exact same spot. That is pathetic. So while he over here firing Stan, somebody need to look at you on the hot seat now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, that definitely.
2 years of no progress, 2 years of backwards progress. You spent all our money on Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe. Like that's backwards progress. If we
Oh
really
yeah.
want to get serious and talk about stuff like who need to be fired, because I don't think like you knew Stan was coming into a tough situation. Dude got hired 27 days later the season started. He ain't get to build no kind of rapport with his players. Then the players that you gave him to build rapport with, it's trash. A bunch of people that can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some like I like a lot of these players, but let's keep it a bean. It's a bunch of 20-year-olds and trash. Like what honestly can you expect Stan to have done? I think this season is more on Griff than it is on Stan. So he got at least to
Yeah.
me. Obviously, we not the ones that will make that call. But if I'm Miss Benson, I'm telling, hey, look, dude, all that little shit you be saying in the press conferences, it sound good, but hey, it ain't none of that won't bow down and sustainable future shit. You need to get in the playoffs this year. Are you going?
Right. You need
Like,
to, that's why I think. That's why I think he fired Stan because he feeling the pressure.
yeah, it,
He
it, it
wanted.
gotta be.
Yeah.
Like, if we miss the first round of the playoffs next year, that will be the most disappointing team I have ever saw in my life.
And then,
Honestly.
not to mention, I feel like the NBA made the play in to get Z into
They
the
did. They
playoffs.
made the bubble last year to get them
Right.
in the playoffs and missed it.
And you still can't even get a 10 seed? Yeah, at that point,
That's
it's you,
what
buddy.
make it bad
It's
too,
front
Jared,
office.
because missing the playoffs is bad enough as it is, but in a normal world, you gotta get to the 8 seed to get in. These fucks couldn't even get the 10 seed. You know what I mean? Like that is bad, bro. Before the past couple years, the 10 seed guarantees you a seat on the couch, and you still couldn't even get that. You know what I mean? Like that is crazy.
You want regular or kettle corn, cat?
That's a fact, man. And like I don't know. I'm trying not to go hard about Griff, man, but we
them
gonna keep
niggas, them,
our
them motherfuckers went fishing. Even couldn't even get to the 10 seed. Niggas was fishing 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Couldn't even get the 10 seed, bro. That is really
that
pathetic, man. Honestly,
that
that is
that
really
that make it an extra fail. Like honestly, if I'm Miss Benson, hey, you
Then these
going for it.
motherfuckers dropping like fucking flies. They dropping like some thoughts in the 1999 bet that ass up video. They just dropping, bro. They
Yeah,
dropping.
well,
Everybody getting hurt,
Nostalgic,
cat.
man.
Everybody getting hurt.
that's a different situation. I think
And I'm
that
sorry. I think we
that's on
also
the
need to look at this
fish.
training staff. I think we need to look at this training staff because there's
Uh,
something wrong with all these motherfuckers getting hurt, bro. We
I
had
don't
too many injuries.
I don't think it's that, Dan. Like LeBron just tweeted today about how he tried to warn people that these injuries was gonna happen. It is literally a record high injuries going into the playoffs. There has never been in the history of the NBA more players injured going into the playoffs on playoff teams. Starters. Never been more starters injured. We seen that. We had to watch a Nuggets series with no Jamal Murray because they wanted to compress the schedule and pretty much teams was playing every other night. Sometimes back to back, most of the times back to back, honestly. But if not, even if you was lucky to get a night off, the very next night you was playing again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a NBA problem, not a Pels problem. So
No,
I cut
I
them some
think
slack.
it's I think it's kind of on the players because if you was worried about the start when you thought you was gonna start, like y'all started after Christmas. When y'all think y'all gonna start the season after this bubble thing? If you was that concerned about health, y'all should have scratched the season. Like you knew the season had to
Well,
start. How far you think it's gonna push it back? I
no,
mean,
I
I
don't
just
think it
don't
was about pushing
understand.
it
Like,
back. It was about compressing it. So they didn't have an issue with the start date. Well, teams like the Lakers did because they
yeah,
just played in the
it did.
championship and then they had to go right back. But the majority of the league, they wasn't tripping on the start date. They was tripping on the compression of the schedule. So
Yeah.
they didn't want to have to play 4, 5 games a week. You know what I mean? Which is what was happening.
Well, Ryan. Another thing is they didn't want to go any further because they didn't want to have to compete with the NFL. You go another month or so into the season. Like this championship ain't gonna start till July. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You to stretch it out some more. You going into August. Shit, that's football season. So that means you're not getting the ratings. You're not getting you're not getting none of that. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I see. I honestly, I don't think that would have been a huge deal. I think, well, not think. I know that the reason is they had these contracts and stuff already in place before COVID hit, with like ESPN, ABC. There was big money in the Christmas games, big money in the playoff schedule, and if you push it back, you miss out on that money. And ABC was like, "Hey, I know it's COVID going on, but we already paid you for this Christmas slot. Get it done." You know what I mean? Like, so that's what happened. That's why they had to start when they did. But I think the compression of the schedule is what the real issue is in relation to the injuries and everything like that. But um, yeah, man, we'll keep looking out for what they decide with the coaching move. I do think, Griff, if you're listening, you got a golden PR opportunity. Not only would you hire the first female coach, but you would hire the first black queen to be a coach in the NBA. So I hope you make the right decision. No pressure. Get it done, Griff. But last thing before we get up out of here, man, we got two restricted free agencies going into next year. First, we'll get this guy out the way. Josh Hart.
Trash.
Josh Hart tweeted that he wanted a fresh start. I don't know what y'all feel about that. I think he brought some he played a very big role, bigger than people give him credit for on the team. So it would really hurt for me to see him go, but I think we can bounce back from Mr. Pump Fake. He would never pull an open look to save his life. So if he unhappy with the Pels, good riddance. If not, you still my dog. But what y'all think about Josh Hart? We need him or we let him walk?
so I'm just looking like when did he say he needed a fresh start?
He said it on Twitter. I can't remember what it was, but he said he needed a fresh start. Or it was confirmed by somebody else on Twitter and he liked the tweet. That's what it was. So it was one of those tweets where it was like per this person. I wish I could remember who it was. But per one of those sports reporters, it was like Josh Hart would like a fresh start next season. And then Josh Hart went and liked the tweet.
Well, Ryan, you know what I gotta see. Fuck him. Let him go.
Yeah. I think
If he liked it, I think it might have been a little emotional at the time, but I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. I think if we lose Josh Hart, I mean that's when our season went down a little bit to me. That's when we started losing a lot. We went through on like a 5-game skid, like whenever he went down, man. It's just he's that glue guy, man. You need a guy like that, man. You need a Marcus Smart. You need a Josh Hart. You need those guys that are on your team to bring energy and toughness, bro. If you don't have that, you got a problem. You need
you need a Marcus
like
Smart, you need a Josh Hart, and if you don't have a Josh Hart, you need a Najee Marshall. So Josh Hart, if you want to walk, my dog Najee, he say he ready, bro. He said he ready.
Najee ain't like Josh.
Hey, man.
Then you sleep. You sleep. Give him one off season a
He might
real
get
work
better.
with the team. When he
Josh
don't have
Hart
that stress of a 10-day on his
led the
mind.
guard. He led the guards and rebounds the whole league. Nigga averaged like
That's
9
fine.
rebounds.
That's fine.
Hey,
Najee
man,
led the whole
I need
team in
shooting.
Hart.
I need shooting, Dan.
Yeah. And that's cool. Them rebounds is he played a big role. Let me not downplay him because I really do like Josh Hart, and I hope that whatever it is, they work it out and bring him back. But if they don't, I'm saying Najee can fill that role at a cheaper price.
He could. I think he's capable.
I think he could, but I think why not? You can't just have them both on the floor. Why you can't have them both come out and off the bench and give you that energy you need? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
why not have
good?
You know what I'm saying?
Because Josh Hart is too expensive to
He's
not
not gonna be that.
be
He's
the
not
guy.
gonna be that expensive.
He expensive. He
No.
he more expensive than rebounds. You know what I mean?
I
Like
think
you gotta
I
be able
think
to
we
shoot
could
the
get
rock.
him.
Your price tag.
I think we can get him for 4 years, 45 million.
Oh,
That's a decent. That's decent.
you gonna
Now
pay
come on, that's
pay
10
him?
mil a year. That's
Damn.
not bad. That's going rate, cat. I mean, would you? That's going rate for a nigga. They paid Solomon 70.
Well,
That's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Dan, you all know that is.
And Josh Hart is way better than Solomon here. And 4 years, 40 million. $10.25 million a year. That ain't bad. That's
I heard,
that's going rate.
Solomon
I
don't
heard,
deserve that contract though.
yeah, I
I
heard
think he do.
Solomon Hill to this day he still wanted a New Orleans for armed robbery.
God, facts. That guy.
And
The
you want to
amount
talk
of
about
money this
something else?
guy pulled off, bro.
What about Omar Sheik? 4 years, $60 million. What the fuck he
Yeah,
did?
that was bad.
Man,
But
listen,
Come
you
on,
know
to
what
be
you need to
fair,
bring up the
Ashik
past.
was actually balling in Houston. Solomon been trash his whole career, bro. He never had
yeah,
no
one good
type of
year.
He had one
ah
good season
not
against
worth that
LeBron,
money.
and all of a
Yeah,
sudden, yeah, he had
he beat
that
kind of
He
like
guy.
the
played he
come on.
played a decent series defensively against LeBron, and we just broke the bank on him, which is insane. That
Fucking
is
Dale Demps, bro.
insane, bro.
But no, but for real though, actually Solomon was good until he had got hurt. Like he was balling, then he like almost broke his ankle, and he came back. He was trash. Like he
Yeah,
actually played good, and then he just some shit after that.
yeah.
I just feel like we could definitely use that money to pay Josh Hart to go get a shooter, a marksman.
But we're gonna
Yeah.
have that once because we trading Eric
Marksman.
Bledsoe and Steven Adams. Yeah, we're gonna have that money no matter what. We're gonna have that cash.
That's if. That's a
And
big if. You gotta find
Ain't no
somebody to
if.
take him.
Ain't no if. They
They
go.
that is a
They good as
hard
going.
ask.
You
They
If
gotta
good as
if
find somebody to take on those contracts.
if Griff is able to work like a winning deal for them, he the GOAT. You might as well just cement his position in the Pels organization if he able to get unload them dudes and get a good return on it.
Yeah,
He
That
traded.
is
Throwing
He
a sweep.
traded. He traded JJ for two players we could use in rotation, and JJ ain't. I don't think he played a game for Dallas. Like, and he got rid of his contract.
What
yeah,
a
nah,
Like,
what a cancer, bro.
in
This guy
so
brought
and
down the Pels
LA.
organization and then went to Dallas, and now Luca in the front office is having troubles. What a cancer, bro.
facts. God, that's
Facts,
fuck.
man. That actually make me smile, bro, because that dude talked a lot of shit about the Pels, bro. He had us all in the headlines and everything, and look at him.
What an idiot.
Fuck
At
him.
least he got to go to the playoffs, though. But
Did he really do? Because I don't think he even played
nah, I don't
that.
think he played at all.
That
He was hurt.
motherfucker ain't even traveled. That motherfucker was at his house drinking a fucking Corona on the fucking sofa, nigga. That ain't gonna doing shit. Fuck him.
Yeah, he really trash. And then our last restricted free agent, a guy that's very near and dear
Shit.
to me.
Poop
Um
faggot.
just hey, I don't know. I doubt that Griff would ever hear this episode, bro. But if somehow you do, just take away the key points from this episode. Promote Teaspoon and give Lonzo his money. Give it to him. Whatever Rich Paul
Sleep.
asked for, you put it on the contract
Oh,
and you pay
come
the man.
on.
You pay him.
Please.
So
Please.
let's be real here. So you think Zoe worth 4 years, 100 million,
Yes.
and Josh Hart not worth 4 years, 40?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that is fucking cap, bro. I'm sorry, that's
He's
cap.
one of
that
the
is
top
that is
defensive
blasphemy.
guards in the league. And
Oh,
my man, hey, he must have grew up with Kodak or something because he is a sniper. Sniper game. Click. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Pay him his money, Griff. Give him his money.
hey, wait, time out. Didn't he get booked about 10 times this year? Three
I
times,
think
all
I
three
think
times against
He
Damian
might
I
have
Lillard.
think
got booked. Hey,
All
but Jared,
yeah,
count the games.
Fox,
Count the
De'Aaron
games.
Fox dropped the ball 3 times.
Count.
He averaged like
Let me
40.
let
come
me
on,
ask
dude.
y'all this. Whenever the games when Lonzo got booked in air quote on booked, that's when SVG had to run that little weird little zone where they switching all around because nobody else can guard shit. So they gotta have Zoe flying around the court, basically guarding three people at once, because there ain't no perimeter defender on the team. Because if Eric Bledsoe gotta stay in front of somebody, we already know that's a she. That's a plate lunch dinner right there. Pork steaks.
Lars,
Oh yeah.
country cuisine.
He played with that.
Papillons, Creole cuisine.
And
That's a fact.
if he was that good, he would have made some type of impact on the defensive end.
Question, Ron, did he make all defense?
He's not there.
No, he didn't. He didn't. But that's
Did it?
political.
Did he
No,
even?
political. You said
Did he even have any votes in the most improved player?
I don't know. I didn't look.
He didn't look at that.
I'm guessing that the answer is
Typical
no.
Stan.
But
Typical
Did he
so
even
Stan.
did he even make her list on the top 25 best players in the NBA? Did he even make a
but that
list?
come on, Dan. The
Under.
top 25
No,
is
no, 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 no. I said top 25 and under players. Did he even make the list?
he should have if he didn't. I don't pay
Ah,
attention to stuff like that, so I don't know. Moral of the story is
look, I
pay
like Zoe, Ryan. I like him a
pay
lot.
him his money. Because what I'm
He's
telling
not
y'all,
worth
and
20 million a
this
year,
is
cat.
this
Come on,
is
Ryan.
documented, just like y'all laughed me out of the room when I said Teaspoon would have been a coaching candidate. If Lonzo does not sign with the Pelicans, he will go to Chicago, he will go to the Knicks, and he will ball out.
Good.
If he
That's good.
doesn't play in New Orleans next year, he will win most improved player in the NBA.
Good, man. We can get a sign and trade, man. Go ahead and send him Zoe with them 2 first round and Steven Adams for Zach and Levine. And good riddance, Zoe. You can get the fuck.
Hey, not I ain't gonna lie, I love Zoe, but if we talking about Zach Levine for him and Steven Adams, hey, I'm taking that any day of the week. But I'm telling y'all, wherever he go, you pair him with the right coach and the right roster, most improved player. It's gonna be a repeat of Julius Randle. We let
Yeah.
Julius Randle go, and now he one of the top players, all star. Like any team in the NBA would want Julius Randle on their squad. Kind of choked in the playoffs, but that's a different story for another day. It's gonna be a repeat of that if we let Lonzo go, because that's looking real silly. You just let Julius walk, and then he start balling out. You know what I mean? That look real crazy, and that's what's gonna happen with Lonzo.
Might be cap, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's cap.
I'm just telling y'all what I know, man. But this gonna be documented. It's gonna be out on YouTube forever and ever. So whenever that does happen, I'm gonna just come back to Behind the Boot Podcast, episode 12, and I'm gonna be like, see, I told y'all. Remember this day, man. But
One thing before we leave, though, do you think uh, a or occasional 3-pointer? Nah, I'm sorry, an occasional 3-point shooter, half the time, 43 games out the season, and occasionally play defense, is worth 20 mil a year. Would you pay him 20 mil a year?
absolutely, Jared.
No.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Give
y'all.
him his money. Give him his money. Hey, I'm just telling y'all, I know what I know.
Hey, Ryan.
I know what I know. But I think that's a good little point to stop it at, man. If y'all came back and rocked with us and y'all listened all the way through to this point, we definitely appreciate y'all. Um, appreciate y'all coming back for another week. Definitely be back next week. Uploads every Friday. You hear me? So if y'all liking what we doing, or if y'all got some complaints, any tips on how we can get better, y'all hit us up on social media. I'm gonna have the handles and everything in the description. So if y'all not following us already, y'all can just go and follow us, add us, let us know what we doing right, and if we doing something wrong, whatever. So we'll catch y'all next week, man. It'll be easy.